In the far reaches of the galaxy, the Zorkan Confederacy had long believed they were the pinnacle of technological advancement. Their empire spanned hundreds of star systems, boasting unmatched interstellar travel, artificial intelligence, and energy manipulation capabilities. Over the eons, they had encountered many civilizations, rising and falling like the tides of a distant sea. But one mystery eluded them, a relic from the distant past, a phantom whispered of in hushed tones among their highest scholars and military strategists, the humans. By all accounts, the species had vanished over 500,000 years ago. Their last known presence on a galactic stage was brief but marked by an unparalleled surge of technological advancement. The humans had appeared, burned brightly, and then disappeared. No trace of them had been found, no ruins, no signals, no survivors. Only silence. Yet, one legend persisted. It spoke of a fleet, a colossal armada, left behind by the humans. A ghost fleet, automated, abandoned, but still operational, hiding somewhere in the Sol system where their homeworld once thrived. For centuries, the Zorkan had dismissed the legend as mere myth. But with their empire's borders expanding ever closer to the Sol system, curiosity, and fear, began to grow. What if the legend was true? What if humanity's long-dead creations still roamed the void? And so, the Zorkan High Command authorized a reconnaissance mission. A fleet of their most advanced vessels, led by Admiral Vela, was dispatched to the Forbidden Star system. Chapter 1, Arrival at Sol. Admiral Vela stood on the command deck of the Wyvorak, the flagship of the Zorkan fleet. His eyes, a deep shade of violet, scanned the holographic map of the Sol system, now displayed in front of him. Around him, his officers murmured, the usual hum of calculations, sensor readings, and tactical overlays filling the air. The system was a graveyard of dead planets. Mercury, Venus, and even Mars were barren wastelands. Earth, the fabled cradle of humanity, was little more than a frozen rock. Its atmosphere had long since dissipated, leaving behind a cracked, icy surface devoid of life. "Scans are complete, Admiral," said Lieutenant Yora, her sleek tentacles swiping through data at the console. "No signs of human life. No detectable power sources. Just emptiness." Vela grunted. He had expected as much. "And the fleet?" "Nothing," she replied, a touch of relief in her voice. "If the humans left behind an armada, it's long gone." Still, something gnawed at him. Vela couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something. "Send out deep space probes," he ordered. "And keep scanning. I want every rock, every piece of debris analyzed." As the fleet dispersed, their vessels gliding silently between the planets, Vela's mind wandered. He had studied the humans intensely before the mission. The species fascinated him, their brief existence almost like a supernova, brilliant but fleeting. And though 500,000 years had passed, the echoes of their ingenuity still lingered in the myths and data fragments collected from ancient archives. Chapter 2, The Ghost Fleet Awakens. Hours passed. The Zorkan fleet methodically mapped the system, confirming what they had already suspected. There was no fleet. No ruins. No traces of human technology. But then, as Vela was about to call off the mission, a probe detected something on the outer edge of the system. Far beyond the orbit of Pluto, nestled within the vast Oort cloud, lay a cluster of objects. Metallic, irregular, and cold. "Admiral, we've detected something," Yora said, her voice tight with shock. "It's massive." Vela's violet eyes narrowed. On screen, the display shifted, revealing a massive collection of ships, thousands of them, spread across the cold, dark void. They were enormous, each one dwarfing the largest vessels in the Zorkan fleet. The ships were sleek, black, and angular, their designs unlike anything in the Zorkan databases. And yet, the architecture was unmistakably human. "Impossible," Vela muttered. 500,000 years, and they still. "No power signatures, Admiral," Yora interrupted. "They appear to be dormant." But even as she said it, Vela knew something was wrong. The ships may have been dark, but they were not dead. There was a purpose to their formation, a precision that couldn't be explained away as random drift. "Move us closer," he ordered. carefully, and prepare the fleet for engagement. Something tells me these ships are far from inactive. As the Zorkan fleet approached the ghostly armada, sensors flared. Suddenly, energy signatures began to spike. One by one, the human ships came to life. Engines hummed, weapons charged, and shields flickered into existence. The Zorkan had unknowingly tripped an ancient failsafe. Admiral, the fleet is powering up. Before Vela could react, the human ship surged forward, moving with a speed and precision that defied their massive size. They opened fire, beams of energy lancing out, cutting through the Zorkan fleet like a scythe through grass. Ships that had survived centuries of warfare were torn apart in seconds. What kind of weaponry is this? Yora gasped as the flagship's shields buckled under the barrage. Vela's mind raced. These human ships, this ghost fleet, wasn't just a relic of a long-dead species. It was a guardian, programmed to defend their home system against any intruder, no matter how much time had passed. All ships, retreat! Vela barked. We're outmatched. The Zorkan fleet scrambled, but it was too late. The human ships had cut off their escape routes, surrounding them with impossible precision. It was as if the fleet had predicted their every move, adapting faster than any Zorkan AI could. The Wyvorak shuddered as another blast hit, ripping through its hull. Vela steadied himself against the command console, his mind racing. They couldn't win this. Not through force. Chapter 3, The Awakening. Stop firing. Vela shouted. Cease all hostilities. Send a signal. We're not enemies. For a tense moment, nothing happened. The human fleet continued its assault, and the Zorkan ships were falling like leaves in a storm. But then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the barrage stopped. The human ships, now fully powered, hovered silently around the surviving Zorkan vessels. Admiral, I'm detecting a signal, Yora said, her voice barely a whisper. It's human. The message, broadcast in an ancient Earth language, was clear. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourselves or be destroyed. Vela swallowed hard. Send a reply. Explain who we are. Tell them we seek knowledge. Moments later, the response came. Knowledge of humanity? Very well. Prepare to be judged. Chapter 4, The Judgment of the Ancients. The surviving Zorkan ships were drawn into the human fleet, their systems overridden by a force far beyond their comprehension. Vela's mind was reeling. Who, or what, was controlling these ships? Had the humans truly left behind such an advanced system? And what did they mean by judged? As they were pulled deeper into the fleet, the Zorkan found themselves facing a single, massive vessel, far larger than the others. It dwarfed even their largest warships, a relic of humanity's final days. Inside, Vela could feel the weight of ancient eyes upon him. Welcome, travelers, a voice echoed through the ships. It was calm, almost curious. You seek the knowledge of the vanished. But know this, humanity was not destroyed. We transcended. The Admiral's eyes widened. Transcended? The voice continued, soft and powerful. We left this plane of existence long ago. But we left behind a warning, this fleet, to guard what remains of our origin. You are the first to come in 500,000 years. You are the first to awaken us. Vela trembled as the enormity of the situation dawned on him. This wasn't just a relic. It was a testament to a species that had surpassed even the wildest dreams of the Zorkan. They had evolved beyond the physical, leaving behind only their creations that still outmatched the galaxy's greatest powers. We will allow you to leave, the voice said, its tone growing stern. But know this, no other shall enter this system. Not now, not ever. The legacy of Earth is not for the taking. As the Zorkan ships were released and the fleet retreated, Vela couldn't help but feel a profound sense of awe and fear. Humanity had vanished, but they had not been defeated. Their power, their legacy, remained. And in the quiet, cold depths of space, their ghost fleet would stand eternal, watching, waiting, protecting the cradle of a species that had ascended far beyond the stars. Chapter 5, Aftermath of the Encounter. Admiral Vaylor sat in silence aboard his damaged ship, the Wyvorak, watching the ancient human fleet shrink away into the vast darkness of the Sol system. What had once been a myth, a ghost story passed among the Zorkan elite, had become a stark and terrifying reality. Humanity had not only transcended their physical existence but had left behind a legacy that could obliterate the most advanced civilizations the galaxy had ever known. The surviving fleet limped away from the human system, but the weight of what they had witnessed pressed down on every officer aboard. Vaylor knew the implications of this encounter would shake the foundations of the Zorkan Empire and possibly the entire galactic community. Lieutenant Yora, her expression tight with disbelief, approached the Admiral. "What do we do now, Admiral? How do we explain this?" Vaylor's violet eyes flickered toward the holographic display. He let out a slow breath, steadying himself. "We tell the truth. For the first time in our Empire's history, we admit that we are not alone, not even close." Yora hesitated. "The High Command will want to return, they will want that power." Vaylor shook his head. "They won't. Not after I tell them what we've seen." Yora tilted her head, uncertain. "And if they don't believe us?" "They will," Vaylor replied, his voice cold and certain. "Because if they don't, the next fleet we send into that system will be annihilated." The humans made their warning clear. The fleet exited the Sol system, leaving the ghostly human ships behind, but the Admiral could still feel their presence, an unseen sentinel guarding the lost cradle of an ascended race. Chapter 6, The Reverberation Across the Galaxy. News of the Zorkan fleet's encounter with the legendary human ghost fleet spread like wildfire. Within weeks, the upper echelons of the Zorkan Empire were in disarray. Scholars, military strategists, and even the political leaders struggled to process the revelation that the ancient humans had not only been real but had transcended and left behind an unbeatable fleet. It wasn't long before other civilizations across the galaxy began to hear the whispers. The Morvani Collective, a species known for their vast intelligence networks, sent covert probes toward the Sol system, hoping to confirm the Zorkan reports. The Kalhosh Dominion, warlike and proud, debated launching an expedition of their own, despite the warnings. Admiral Vaylor had returned to Zorka Prime, the capital of the Empire, to address the High Command. He stood before the Grand Council, an assembly of the most powerful Zorkan leaders, their shimmering golden robes contrasting with the cold, sterile architecture of the chamber. "You are certain?" asked Grand Chancellor Valkyra, her voice sharp, yet laced with doubt. "The human fleet still exists. And their technology, it is beyond anything we have ever encountered." Vaylor nodded, the memory of the encounter still vivid in his mind. Their ships moved with speed and precision that outmatches even our most advanced AI systems. Their weapons cut through our shields like paper. They are not just relics, they are alive. They adapt. And they gave us a warning. The council murmured in disbelief. Valkyra narrowed her eyes. "A warning? From whom?" "The humans have been gone for eons." "It wasn't a warning from a living human," Vaylor explained. "It was from something left behind, an intelligence, perhaps an artificial one, that still serves their purpose." They referred to themselves as guardians of Earth's legacy. Valkyra leaned forward, her eyes intense. "And what was this warning?" "Do not return. No one is allowed to enter that system ever again." The chamber fell silent. Even the most hardened members of the High Command could feel the gravity of Vaylor's words. "If we ignore this warning, the next time we enter their system, there will be no survivors," Vaylor added, his voice steady. Valkyra's face hardened. "So we are to simply leave this treasure trove of knowledge and power untouched?" Vaylor's eyes darkened. "If you value the survival of the Empire, then yes. Humanity has become something far greater than any of us can understand. We cannot afford to provoke them."